Hello from Capitol Hill, where today, Wednesday, the president was due up here to sign a major piece of legislation. It's a bipartisan landmark housing affordability bill. Well, Democrats liked it. Democrats loved it, actually, and a lot of Republicans really here on Capitol Hill were thrilled with the idea that they would actually get something done for the American people. But instead, just before he was set to come up here, the president put out the word that he would not sign the housing legislation unless the Save America Act was passed by Congress first. That hit like a bombshell here on Capitol Hill, among Republicans especially. And you hear me asking one question in particular. Mr. President, what about this federal court? Are you going to hold everything hostage?
As you know, we're winning by a lot. Iran is making very big concessions. We'll see what happens, but it's been very, very, very powerful.
Are you going to hold everything hostage?
Mr. President, what about Mr. President? Mr. President, what about this? Mr. President.
The president went back in for about an hour and a half of the meeting, where he was face to face with a number of senators he had campaigned against specifically and sought to wreck their Senate careers. Well, he did not stop to talk to the media and take questions. The Save America Act problem for the president is, and Republicans have been trying to convince him to accept this idea, that it would not be approved in the Senate, as it is right now, without a supermajority vote, and that means blowing up the filibuster, the 60-vote threshold. So Republicans, a few Republicans at least especially, don't believe the Save America Act is worth dying on a hill for. Again, especially since a few of those senators were targeted by the president to be defeated in primaries, and that's happened. The basic bottom line of the Save America Act is that all voters must show proof of citizenship when they go to vote, every time they go to vote, not just when they register to vote, but when they show up to the polls, they have to have proof of citizenship. That is a questionable constitutional position, the problem for the Republicans, and a lot of Democrats don't think that is constitutional power that the Congress should put on the states, especially. It's the sort of thing that has never been required previously to vote, even a long, long time ago, when people didn't easily have identification cards, papers, whatever you want to say. Now, the president could hold on to the housing legislation and not sign it, and after 10 days it would come into effect. If he does decide to veto it, which a lot of Republicans don't think he should do, well, that would become a big campaign issue for Democrats, especially with the House and Senate up for grabs by both parties in the midterm elections. You heard me ask the president during the walk-in if he was willing to basically scuttle just about every piece of legislation until the Save America Act is somehow approved. And again, GOP leader John Thune doesn't think the legislation will pass or could pass the Senate with a 60-vote threshold in the Senate, and does not want to eliminate the filibuster power. So the issue has been put aside at least for 10 days, maybe 10 days at least. Let's put it that way. The president also got into a shouting match, apparently, in the meeting with Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, one of the people he targeted in the primary a few weeks ago over the war with Iran. Cassidy opposed it. And in fact, just on Tuesday, the Senate voted to limit the president's war powers now in a resolution that the president doesn't have to sign, but it sends a clear message from Republicans, as well as Democrats, actually, of course, to the electorate that this war should end as they get ready to vote. On his way out, the president sent that the GOP is still unified, but there's people who, quote, he said, I don't like a few of the people. The president wouldn't say who those senators are, but he said, I think you know who they are. Well, not only does the Senate have to have what amounts to a supermajority, 60 votes, to pass the Save America Act, the House is stalled as GOP hardline conservatives have shut down the chamber, with a handful of Republicans refusing to back down on the idea of the Save America Act being the most important top priority for the GOP. So for now, the housing bill has been passed and sent to the president. We'll wait to see what happens with that, whether or not he just lets it take effect, become law within 10 days. From Capitol Hill, with ear on the White House, I'm Bob Costantini.